You've got to be able to adapt and move. Being an independent agency, that is a huge benefit, whereas our holding company competitors really find it hard to move as quick as we do. Hi, I'm Matt Nunn from Local Planet Australia, powered by Nunn Media, and I'm here with Jose Luis.
I'm Jose Luis de Rojas, in charge of Local Planet Spain, which is powered by two agencies in the case of Spain. One is Certem and the other one is Infinity. How I started in media? Very surprisingly, because I work in different industries before. I was a strategy consultant, I was a banker. Many years ago, I joined what is today Dentsu, and I was in charge of a region within Dentsu, Iberia and Latin America, and for quite a few years. And at some point, I decided that I wanted to have my own business.
And how many people were in your business when you started?
Something like 50, something like that.
Yeah. And how many do you have today?
Could be 150, something like that.
How did you get from 50 to 150? How did you grow the business?
No, I think that we have some advantages. Being strong local agency, being independent. One is talent, of course. I think that's the key for for growing even more than data and technology and all the things that we want to grow in, but also that we have the flexibility, the entrepreneurial spirit that's very important from the networks, because the networks, they don't believe in the one size fits all. The problem is that they have rigidities and they cannot change that many times.
But I started in media sales on the TV side of things, and eventually sort of worked through, and one of the agencies that I was looking after at the time offered me a job to come in as a junior partner. I did that, and I literally took all my direct clients there, and that went on for a couple of years, and then I worked for him, and then at that particular stage I thought, well, perhaps I might do it myself. And in Australia, you must be accredited, so there's a lot of financial stability, and you have to put everything you own on the line, so if the clients don't pay you, you can pay. So it's quite a big step. Very humble beginnings. I had myself, my wife, who was an accountant at Ernst & Young, and I think I had 2 employees. So now we have about just under 200 employees. But I probably put our growth down to mindset as well, because I think in this business, you have to want to grow the business. You can't just tread water in this business. You've got to retain all your revenues and all your clients, and it's quite simple. And then you've got to win business on top of that to get growth. So if you haven't got that growth mindset, I think you're always going to sort of go down and down and down. We've also made, I think, 6 acquisitions along the way. And I think they've been very, very important for our growth. Those acquisitions have been in areas that we didn't have capability. And most recently, we've acquired 2 performance digital agencies. I mean, I look 10 years ago, we probably were 10% digital. Now we're 75% digital revenue. So It's a huge difference in the business. And I think that mindset of change, you've got to be able to adapt and move. Being an independent agency, that is a huge benefit, whereas our holding company competitors really find it hard to move as quick as we do.
And also, I mean, it's difficult for them, to plan for the longer term, because at the end they are driven by immediate results. And I think that is one of the advantages we have, that at the end you can, for example, think about acquisitions for completing your capabilities. We've done a few acquisitions too. That's something that not always the networks can do locally, no? And it's very necessary many times, no? Because otherwise you cannot expand your set of capabilities.
We were always doing something. I don't like to sit in the one place. And you look at businesses like Blockbuster and Kodak, who never saw the writing on the wall. You've got to keep moving, because the next thing is somewhere. It may only be more at this particular time. What do you put down to your point of difference in your, obviously you got 2 brands, what's your point of difference?
Our point of difference is what they lack. I won't say that the deep knowledge of the market, but also, the deep knowledge of the local market is very important. At the end, media is local, or a big part of media is still local. And no matter that we use global platforms and everything, the media owners are local, the ways of trading media are local, no? and it's a local business, including an important part of digital jet, because many of the digital vehicles are also owned by the local media owners. No?
Yeah.
That's important. I mean, the local knowledge that differentiates us from the networks. Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is important. For example, let me put you an example. In Spain, my agency, we have joint ventures, even temporary joint ventures, with presumed competitors that the networks cannot do. Now we are running a couple of joint ventures with Accenture, the networks as competitor, and we are not. Even with creative agencies that belong to the holding companies, WPP agencies like Ogilvy, or with local communication strategy or PR companies. So, because also the client service is becoming more and more complex, also in technology, and that's something, and I have the experience because I worked for a network for many years, that's something that you cannot do unless you have control your destiny, no?
Yeah.
That you have the capacity to do that and you have the ownership. Ownership is important too. You know the claim of Horizon, no? Business is personal.
Yeah.
And it's very important that the owners, no? Sit in front of the clients and these are clear advantages in front of our competitors that are.
If you were to give a piece of advice to perhaps smaller agencies on how to grow their business, what would be the one thing that you would say is a non-negotiable if you want to grow?
Focus on clients every single day, every single hour, on clients, client satisfaction, on growing the business of your clients. Think about the business of your clients rather than. That's the most clear thing. And then, develop talent. That's the blood of our business.
In our market, what I originally did, I looked at the holding companies and I looked at what they were really good at. And what we try to do is target sort of small to mid-sized clients, and then they had inexperienced people working on them. So we had more experienced people, and then they didn't give those clients any strategy, so we gave them strategy. So we kind of worked on the weaknesses of the holding companies in an area, that small to mid-market, which they couldn't sort of service. And that seemed to get us a lot of traction initially. And then we were able to build that into bigger clients and foster more advantages there.
That makes a lot of sense, because there are many clients that feel underserviced, abandoned by the networks, and we have again a competitive advantage there.
Well, that's probably the wrap on Local Voices. So I'm Matt Nunn from Local Planet Australia. See you later.
Okay, I'm José Luis de Rojas from Local Planet Spain.